In this tutorial, we're going to be working with noise reduction using Camera Raw. When you're working with noise, it's really a random variation in tonal value and color values on a pixel by pixel basis. Many factors contribute to this, but for the most part, it can be attributed to increasing the ISO setting in your digital camera. The higher the ISO setting, the more amplification is applied to the signal onto your image sensor, and then you get this disruption. You really want to focus on the areas in the shadow sections of your picture. So when you start to work with this, go to your exposure setting in the basics panel. Increase your exposure setting so you brighten the image so you can really see the areas in the shadow areas. Secondly, you want to then increase your viewing capabilities to 100%, so you're seeing this at full image size. And as we increase that to 100%, you can actually start to see this variation in color values and tonal values. Next, you want to then go to the third tab, which is your detail as well as noise reduction. Noise reduction has luminance and color. You want to start out with color. Minimize this, really start this out at 0 and then work your way up. Too much and you're actually going to start to lose saturation in your picture. So start to draw this up until you start to see a good point that works well with losing that color disruption. And then working with color detail, bring that up so that you're bringing back some of that color saturation. So it's kind of a play between these two. When you're working with luminance or brightness of the image, this is used to really even out the variations in tonal value for the pixels. If you go too far with this, you start to lose detail in your picture. So if I drag this all the way up, it starts to look very smooth, but then you're losing all of the edge detail with that. When you work with detail here, it's adding really that localized detail to the image. So you're kind of playing back and forth with this luminance, a little bit lower than the detail factor here. And then working with contrast really brings back the detail from the use of all these other controls, because what you're really doing is with noise reduction is reducing the actual sharpness of your image by softening it up, and then using this luminance. Contrast really starts to bring back that detail. So you're working first with color, then color detail, then with luminance, luminance detail, and then luminance contrast. After you're done with that, within this viewing area, just click the preview and you can see a huge difference between the two. Don't forget then to go back to your exposure settings, double click on it so you're back into the first view.